Now, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar, Spanish Best Practices and Success Stories in Artificial Intelligence, Talent and Tech, and Sustainability and Corporate Social Responsibility, organized by ITH, the Instituto Tecnológico, Hotelero, and the European project PacT4ALL. My name is Paula Miralles. I'm Project Manager at ITH, and I'll be guiding you through today's session. Sorry. We are delighted to have you with us today to explore inspiring experiences and projects that are reshaping tourism through artificial intelligence, technology, talent development, and sustainability. This webinar aims to highlight real cases that demonstrate how innovation and skills can boost the competitiveness and sustainability of the European tourism ecosystem. Before we begin, we'd like to thank you all our speakers for joining us today and sharing their insights and experiences. We'll start with our first presentation. Álvaro Carrillo, General Manager of ITH, will introduce the self-assessment platform for hotel sustainability, an initiative that helps hotels measure and improve their sustainability performance. Next, we'll hear from Ignacio Santillán from Grow Tour, who will present the case Artificial Intelligence in the Spanish tourist offices, exploring how artificial intelligence is enhancing destination promotion and visitor engagement. Then Andrea Santiago from Suite Accommodations will show us how artificial intelligence implementation in touristic accommodations can improve team productivity and operational efficiency. Finally, Karen and Jaitha, former students of the Artificial Intelligence Training for Companies in the Tourism Sector from ITH Academy, will show us the power of skills development in driving innovation. We hope today's sessions will spark new ideas, encourage collaboration, and inspire you to continue innovating within your organizations and destinations. Thank you for being here. And without further delay, let's begin with our first speaker, Álvaro.
Hello, good morning to everyone. Thank you very much, Paula. And now I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to talk about an initiative regarding sustainability, which is one of the main topics we are dealing with at ITH. Let me check. Can you see the screen?
Yes, but not in now. Perfect.
Now, okay. So as I was wondering, ITH is the Instituto Tecnológico Hotelero, a hotel institute of technology in Spain. We deal with matters related with technology and digital transformation on the one hand, and on the other hand, our main issues are sustainability. So this is one of the main projects we are developing at Spain. We have the support of the Ministry of Tourism in Spain, I think from 7 years. So it's not a new initiative. And when you see it, well, it's not quite new, but the point here, the success we have is that it works. And that's what we wanted to tell you, how we have done it and how can you do it, because at least in Spain it works. And I think it's something we have to be keen on, because it's something that is already growing, and final clients are already using, or not using, but are much more interested in sustainability issues. And if the client is interested in something, we as hoteliers have to deal with it. So first of all, we develop, or we just call it the ITH model of tourism sustainability. And inside this umbrella, which is the position we have at a sustainability level, then we said, what can we do? First of all, in Spain, we have a lot of big chains of hotels with hundreds of hotels, not as big as the American ones, but we had Meliá, NH, or Barceló, Riu, vacational hotels, mainly all of them. But the main part of the hotels in Spain, we have 15,000 hotels. 5,000 are the big chains in Spain, but 10,000 hotels in Spain are independent hotels or very small chains with 3, 4, 5 hotels. So for this, focusing on these small chains of hotels or independent hotels, we said, what can we do for them just to make them easy to understand what sustainability is and how can they move forward sustainability in an easy way. And they said, well, first of all, they have to know where they are. So that's why we designed this sustainability assessment model. On a glance, you can see here what we develop, this sustainability assessment for the independent hotels and the small chains. And then as we began 7 years ago, as I already told you, we said, well, can we just focus in some areas, not only talking about sustainability, which is quite big, and you talk obviously about energy, but then 3 years ago, we just made a focus regarding food waste. And last year, we made a focus regarding water management because we had a really heavy drought in Spain last year and 2 years ago. As well, we have to focus about water management. And that's what we have developed, this umbrella, which is the ITH model on tourism stability. And then to make it easy for the small hotels, this self-assessment sustainability test. And what's it's made up? I think it's 78 questions regarding sustainability, and then 24 food waste, and a little bit less, or 20, I think 16 or 17 about water management. And what we have developed is just an easy, well, it's 78 questions. It's not something easy, but something easy for the people who's working on the maintenance and the energy department in the hotels. And each time they just fulfill the questions and the KPIs you have to fulfill, you have examples. So you know if you are doing it well or not. You have the proper units and examples of what other hotels are doing in this KPI you're already using or you're already taking. That allows the hotel to know why you are asking them for this kind of information and how they can align with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals and the Agenda 2030. For us, it's not easy to begin to talk about sustainability instead of talking about energy. If you talk about energy, you have to measure how much energy you are using per client, per square meters or whatever. But we wanted to talk not only about energy and energy efficient, but also about sustainability. Regarding this issue, the hardest thing to do is social sustainability. We have questions inside the self-assessment platform regarding all the issues, energy, and also obviously economic, environmental, and social sustainability, which is the hardest part to develop because the indicators are under standard at all over Europe. So that's the hardest thing, first of all, to define, how to define and which KPIs you have for social sustainability indicators. And then the other issue we have over here is that you have exactly, and this is, yeah, sorry, because it's in Spanish, but for each question, you have which exactly goals of the SDG you are focusing on, and then a small explanation and some examples of what are others doing inside this questionnaire. Okay. What you get after using this platform. So first of all, you've got the data. It's an online platform. You can use it whenever you want. If you make so if you improve something in your hotel, you can check it again and fulfill the actual data. And you have what you are doing. Okay, it's fine. But also you have to know what you are lacking. And for this issue, besides this control panel, you have to know and to measure what you're already doing. You can compare about what you are doing, comparing with the rest. We never saw data about what the others are doing, but the media you have, if you have four stars hotel, you can compare with the media of the 4 stars hotel, which are already in the platform. In the platform nowadays are more than 200 hotels, and we are trying to reach by the end of 2025 at least 300 hotels. Okay. So by the end of this self-assessment platform, you know how aligned you are with the SDGs. Then you can compare with the media of the hotels that are already using, and if we are talking about 300 hotels, the media is quite accurate. I mean, you are not comparing with 2 or 3. You have enough numbers not to say what the hotels in Spain are doing because there are 15,000, but at least you have good data to compare with. And also, it's something that they ask for. In Spain now, it's obligatory to have a sustainable report. So we have already developed just a standard sustainable report, which is obliged by law in Spain. So when you fulfill all the data regarding sustainability, water and food waste, if you click this button, it's in Spanish, Memoria de Sostenibilidad, you get a first draft of what a sustainability report that is allowed by law to have for the medium enterprises, at least in already developed. So the work to do it from the beginning, it's already forgotten, and you can have this with the data you are already using. And which are the results for the hotels already using the platform? First of all, you identify the areas where you are working. As you have 78 questions, you realize, oh my God, do I have to do something in this area? I thought that was not sustainability, but you have to talk about it. It engaged not only the employers of the employees of the company, also the providers and also the clients. So we want the hotels that use this self-assessment tool just to realize that sustainability is a long-term strategy that you have to take care for your company, also for the ones that are involved with your company. The definition we already have, we don't have a translation into Spanish about a stakeholder, but that's a good definition of stakeholders into Spanish. You have to look in the long term for your company, but also for the ones who work with your company, the clients and the providers, but also with the destination you are working with. Perhaps talking about the social impact of the economic issues you are regarding this. And as you see what you are doing, because sometimes the lack of knowledge about the things that we are asking to you, you realize what you have to do. Perhaps you are doing really well in some issues, but you are lacking. And with the comparison you have with the rest of the hotels, you do know what you have to do. Because if you want to be more efficient, perhaps, and make energy savings or to get some money back, you have to do these other things. But if you want to get a better social impact in the destination you're already working, you have to do these other things, which are not a lot of times related directly with the money or the PLN or the PNL. You can compare the performance you have, and if you want to get to the money, you can do it. I mean, you can say, well, if I invest 10,000 euros in water taps, I will get the money back in 10 months or 1 year and a half and things like that. So you can get good practices and you can know exactly where to invest your money, which is the economic benefit you are going to get, but also which is the social impact about the things you are going to do. And that's it. Just it's quite difficult to talk about sustainability to the small hotels. They are focusing on clients, marketing, distribution, and then onwards, well, do it as always. What we had as an example, what we reached the water management issue, the problem we had in Spain, we had a drought, we had a really problem about water in the hotels, but water is really cheap. So for the companies, they too really care about energy because energy is expensive. They are going to take care a lot about how they are managing the energy process, but water is really cheap. So we can talk a lot about water. We are really leaking a lot of water. We have really huge problems of water. There's no water, but as it's cheap, well, I'll have to pay 1,000 more euros per year. Well, no problem, I'll pay it. And that's some issues we realized when we made this exact study 2 years ago. 2 years ago? No, last year, regarding 2 years. And the key learnings and replicability we do have of this tool. I think it's nothing new. I mean, these self-assessment tools regarding energy efficiency are quite common. Regarding sustainability, they are not so common, and that's something that we have to do as ITH at a national level at least. But it's quite easy to export this idea to any other regions, destinations, or even countries all over Europe. Is because everybody will have to do it, which is the main problem we have. Local law, and when I say local, I mean national law, because it depends on the national laws, which are the requirements they oblige the hotels to follow. And regarding this issue, the things regarding social sustainability, first of all, they are not a standard. The KPIs we do have at social sustainability are not a standard, even in Spain. so all over Europe, they are not defined yet, and the law will be different at a national level inside Europe. So perhaps the law regarding water or regarding social impact of your hotel is different in Germany or it's different in Italy. So we'll have an issue because if you want just to get this tool and use it in your own country, perhaps you will get to modify it because the law is different at a national level, at a regional level, or even at a local level. So regarding food waste, what can be food waste best practices? It depends in the country. No, it depends on the city your hotel is. So we'll have to check, first of all, the sustainability issue regarding the SDG. Okay, it's fine, but when you get local, it's much harder. And you have a clear tool to identify where you can improve and how to prioritize where your investment can be, because you can check easily because of the good practices that are included that if you want something fast to get the money back, you can go for some kind of measures. But if you want to invest a lot of money in making a restyling completely of the building of the hotel, it's much more expensive and you'll get the money back in a long term, but it will allow you to save a lot of energy and then a lot of money. But we have to promote this. We will always ask for public support to make these efforts. But I think something we have to continue because sustainability is something we cannot avoid. And that's all from my side. If I don't know if you have any questions.
Okay, thanks, Alvaro. No questions arising yet, so we'll see later at the end of the webinar. Thank you very much. We'll continue with Ignacio Santillán, who is going to present the implementation of artificial intelligence in the tourist office in the oh yes, we can see your screen. Perfect. But we cannot hear you yet.
Yeah. There you go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So, well, first of all, thank you guys for having us. And for me, sorry if you guys see my eyes kind of sleepy. It's not that I just woke up, it's that it's 2 a.m. I'm currently in Costa Rica. So doing this presentation for you guys. But yeah, first of all, GrowTour is a company that it's currently focusing on doing consultancy on a new thing around the world. That it's basically the AI. All around the world, we have faced the same challenge with all the companies, and Tour España was not the exception. So the example that we're going to provide today on how to implement AI is going to be focused on that. The tour has work with destinations like Lloret, with hotels like Marsol, or even companies outside of the tourism sector per se, but for example, Licor 43. And this alliance with Tour España started in 2024, in which, as I said before, the companies currently in the world are facing a new problem, that it's how do we implement AI across our organizations or our companies, but in a really structured way. So with Tour España, the idea behind the implementation started like from top to bottom. And in this slide, you can see that the pilot that we implemented for the OEDs, the Spanish tourist offices, was basically to have an entire ecosystem of ChatGPT, the workspace ChatGPT, across the every comunidad autónoma, and also in the Tour España as the main point. So basically, all of them are interconnected for them to have the same strategy from the top to the bottom. And as an example for this, basically the every community can do the strategy from Tour España, but they can reach about the information that they have, but also put the information for AI about what the strategy of their own community, and be aligned between them, right? So instead of working separately, that was basically the challenge that Tour España was facing today. They are now working in an interconnected space in in ChatGPT. That this is something that it's really important to understand, that working with ChatGPT, a lot of people, I think that the statistic says that 92% of the people are using the free version of ChatGPT. And when you're using the free version of ChatGPT, you're not actually using the secure version, but instead you're using just a really small and not so capable version of the AI that we currently know. So when the companies start to work with a workspace in ChatGPT, they are actually working in a place in which they can develop tools that they're going to be easily managed between them, and they are going to be easily shareable. Let's say that one community creates something, that it's something that they will be able to share with another community, or back and forth, right? This helps build like a community between them, to have better process improvements across the whole Tour España ecosystem. So there are a lot of key points that creating this layer of workspace from top to bottom that are really important. But as an example, if for example Norway wants to implement the strategy for marketing for bringing more people into Spain, um, they're going to look for the strategy from Tour España as the main point, but then they have to look for how every community is doing different things, but they are all aligned. So basically in this workspace they will be able to talk to the GPTs inside ChatGPT to understand what are they doing, and to understand what message they should send to the end consumer, right? The Norway people that want to travel to Spain. So basically this is something that for people, it's not easy to understand that when you start working with a workspace and you can share knowledge between them, it's something that is going to be useful from the Norway to to Tour España as a whole, but also back and forth. So Tour España can also implement something that is going to be shareable with every single region and every single place in a more personalized setting. They are going to be able to provide strategies that are better focused on every country, or better focused on every person that reaches to visit Spain. And it's all going to stay in the same workspace for them to understand and implement better things in the future. So Norway is an example that we already have the feedback on, that they have had a great experience working with the workspace and the co-pilots. But also this brings us to another point, that it's basically the benefits in the future. That right now there's a change in the concept of marketing, that it's the SEO. When we talk about that, SEO is basically the search engine optimization. And right now there's been like a main change on this. Instead of SEO, it's moving into GEO, that it's basically generative engine optimization, that it's basically how people are going to start looking into how to move around the world with changes in the tourist behavior. How do they look for something while they are in London, or how do they try to understand the history between in a church in Milan, for example. So what happens when you already have a workspace in Tour España, that it's basically the same workspace between the main point and also every single community, and also the exterior ones. When you have a whole ecosystem that it's with all the information, all the strategies, and all the messages are aligned, you're basically going to position yourself in the new generative engine optimizations, that are basically when you look into Google Gemini, when you look into ChatGPT, when you look into Perplexity, or when you look into any AI tool that it's currently on the market, you're going to be able to understand the result that the AI is giving you. For example, if you right now look for where should I travel to Spain, so instead of just reaching to all of the points, it should reach out to the main point of Tour España to understand what's the strategy behind what they want to do with 2025 or 2026. So the response that you will get is something that it's more aligned with the strategy that they have in the work plan for the future, instead of just looking into the past or the information that the AI could gather from previous pages or something that it's not aligned. All of this is an example that when you start working with AI and when you start doing the work for your company, you need to be aligned across the whole organization, because if you do not do that, you're going to be challenged with a lot of problems with users, like putting information that shouldn't be there, with not having a standardized way of working with AI tools. And most of all, I think that the other part of Grow Tour, that it's basically the formation and everything that we do around helping people to understand AI better. I think that it's going to be in a constant change. So you need to be also in continuous learning with AI, because there are a lot of new tools and a lot of new things that are going to keep coming in the next 5 years for sure. That if you have a company that basically tries to give you the best tools in the market, I think that it's not just about the implementation of AI in the first time, but it's also about the continuous learning that you will have with AI in the future. So it's not just something that we do in implement and go, but it's something that we implement and keep doing in the future years with them. So this is the example for Tour España, and thank you guys. If you have any question.
Thank you, Ignacio. I don't know if any questions. Well, at the end we will ask for you if you have any questions, but then we will continue with Andrea Santiago from Suite Accommodations. She's going to explain us their case, and we'll see best practice also.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Please confirm with me that you can see that.
Yes.
Can you see the presentation full screen right now?
Yes, perfect.
Right. So again, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I am Andrea Santiago. I am the Operations and Quality Manager at Suite Accommodations. We are a small touristic accommodations company throughout Spain. We have accommodations in Sevilla and in Lloret de Mar and in Barcelona. And our goal is to provide authentic experiences for the guests. But as a small company, we face a reality that probably a lot of you share, which is that we have limited resources. And we have a small team that has to do a lot of different tasks at the same time. And also what's happening is that the guest expectations are rising. They want fast replies, they want flexibility, they want personalization all the time. And with our small team, it can be a little bit overwhelming for them to attend the guests. So this is where we started using AI to improve guest experience and also team management time. First of all, we identified our main challenges. And there are two of them, even though the first one divides into two, more or less. So the first big challenge that we identified and that we faced is communication, both with the guest and internal communication. Receptionists receive hundreds of questions and they do hundreds of interactions every single day. And like guests ask the same questions all the time. What time is check-in? What time is check-out? Parking, breakfast, Wi-Fi? They ask the same things every day. But even though the questions are the same, each person has a different way of speaking. So they might get different answers for the same questions. Like the information provided was not homogeneous. And also, when there was like a more specific request from a guest, or a procedure that is not that common came up, the team usually ended up going through all the emails or the hundreds of documents that we have with all the procedures, or even asking a colleague or a manager for the answer, and that this caused like delayed answers for the guest, or if the procedure needed to be done, it delayed the management of it. So at the end, the information was scattered. It was not all together and homogeneous, so it was a big challenge for us. And also, at the same time, we were receiving a lot of reviews online on the different platforms, like Google, Booking, Airbnb, all of them. And also, how important online reputation is nowadays. But investing the time on answering all of the reviews in all the different languages was something that we could not manage. We did not have the resource to do that. And also the ones that were answered, they were very different. There was not the same tone, because also the team is of course not professional on answering this type of things, or addressing these topics. So they might provide very different answers to the reviews. So we needed to find a way of having the same way of responding to reviews and communicating with the guests. But now in our sector, the human touch is very important, and as we want to provide excellent guest experience, it was a big challenge. Like, how can we communicate faster, more efficient, without losing the human touch, and in the same tone? So with these challenges identified, we ended up using three different types of AI, or we applied AI in 3 different parts. So the first thing that we did is that with ChatGPT, we created an internal knowledge base for the receptionists. As Ignacio said before, with the free version of ChatGPT, you're missing a lot out. So with the paid one, you can create some virtual assistants. In our case, as we work in 3 different cities and the procedures change a little bit depending on which city you're working at or the guest is visiting, we created 3 virtual assistants, 1 for each city. And the assistants were trained with everything that we have, all the procedures or the policies, our recommendations, everything that a receptionist or a member for the team might need to know is there. With these assistants, when the team had a procedure that's not that frequent, or a request that it's a bit more specific, or even when a new member came to the team, because that can happen too, when they didn't know how to solve a situation, instead of going to ask to a colleague or a manager and waiting for an answer, or searching through all those documents that I said before, they can just go to the ChatGPT assistant and ask them directly. They can ask the question, and the assistant will provide an answer that always has the same level of detail, the same tone, and this makes the information very easy to get, very accessible, and like the information that we provide to the guests will be always the same. The second thing that we did is that we created as well some virtual assistants for the guests. These are basically some chatbots that are available in our communication platforms like WhatsApp or the website. And as I said before, the reception team receives a lot of similar questions all the time, like the check-in time, Wi-Fi password, luggage storage, and those questions do have a specific answer that does not have to change every single time. So what we did is that we trained these chatbots with this information, and this way the team does not have to be constantly answering the same questions all the time. This time that they were investing in answering these questions can be invested in more high-value tasks. For example, speaking with the guest that they have in front of them, or helping a guest that has a more specific issue, which leads us to the personalization part. Also, sometimes when the team has to do a very repetitive task, they get a little bit overwhelmed or tired. So we also removed that part with these chatbots. And the last thing that we did is that we, I think this is one of the first solutions that we applied. We've been doing that for quite a long time now with different platforms, but we have an assistant that helps us answering the reviews, the online reviews. So even though we have worked with different platforms, we always have looked for the same thing, which is an assistant that generates the answers automatically for the reviews. I have to say here that even though the assistant automatically generates the response, it's very important that there's a human behind the screen reviewing the answer, because this is not like an objective information like what is taking time. Here you are working with the opinion of the people, so the information that you need to like provide when you are answering might vary a lot depending on the case. So with the platforms that we use, the answer depends on if there's a good review, their answer will highlight that good points that the guest mentioned, and if it's a bad review, the answer will be like more empathic, and it will try to provide like not a solution because the guest has already left, but try to be like more empathic. All with the same tone all the time. These platforms are usually trained with like scanning all the answers that you provided before to your reviews, and is constantly training. So every time, like the more answers that you do, the more trained it will be and the better answers it will provide. And also it usually generates the answer on the same language as the guest. So, or in English, if it's a language that is a little bit more strange. So it will, it makes it easier for the receptionist because they do not have to think the answer themselves. And also it's all done in one platform. Before you had to go to the different platforms to answer each review, translate them, generate the answer manually, and then translating it and copying. And with this, you have only one. So it's just a lot faster and easier. All the reviews have an answer now, which is very important, and has a direct impact on your online reputation because it gives you more credibility if you have an answer for all of them, even for the bad ones, which are like the most important ones. And also the tone for all of them is very similar. So yeah, it has a direct impact on your reviews and your online reputation. This process was not easy, and we found some challenges throughout the way, and we got some learnings that we had. I will go for that later. Sorry, before I want to talk to you about the results that we identified. So there are 5 key points here. First one is efficiency, because as I said before, your team is not investing their time in the same tasks all the time. They can invest it in more high quality value tasks. Second one is the consistency in your tone, because the information provided is always the same, both with the virtual assistant for the guest and for the team. The information is always the same, so the guest will not be receiving different answers. It doesn't matter if you're talking with someone in Barcelona or someone in Sevilla, because as a guest, you will receive the same answer. This translates into a better guest experience, which is our third key point. The guests at the end are getting what they want. They want fast replies, and they want attention 24/7. So with the chatbots, they are getting this. But as well, when they have a problem or they need more specific attention, they still get it because the team can do it. Also, we have noticed that we have a happier staff. Our staff feels safer because they feel like they have a backup of information for them. When they have a doubt, they can just directly go to the ChatGPTs and ask them, and they will get an answer very fast and very easy. And also, as I said before, as they are not doing a repetitive task all the time, they do not get that tired, and they see that they can invest their time better. And lastly, the last key point is a stronger reputation, as I just stated, with answering all the reviews with the same tone. at the end, having all the reviews answered lets the people that are checking them know that you are real, that there's a person behind the screen. So that that was a very big key point. And AI at the end has helped us be more efficient and get better guest experience and better team experience. So yeah, it was a big change for us. And now, yes, I will be talking about the learnings, because as I said, it was not difficult. And there are some important things that you need to know if you want to start implementing AI on your company. The first thing that you need to know is that you need to keep your info updated. If you do not keep the database updated, the information that it will provide either to the guests or either to the reception team will be outdated, will be wrong. So if you are using it but you're not using it right, it can convert into a problem because you might provide information that is totally not right, and at the end it can convert into a bad guest experience, which is specifically what we're trying to avoid. So that's very important. The second thing is that you need to involve your team. We all know that sometimes people feel a bit afraid of AI, and because they think it might substitute them. So it's very important that since the beginning you involve your team on the process of training the IA as well, and giving them the tools to know how to use it, because some people do not know really how to use this new technology. So yes, it's very important that you help them know how to. And also you need to take into account very much their feedback, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are on the front line. And so their feedback about how it's working, or when training the AI, you need to have their feedback and make them, in our case, we involved the team when we created the chatbots for the guests. We made them try it before we launch it. This way they could identify what information was not being right, or simply if they thought the answer was not the best one and it could provide more information or less information, their feedback was crucial for us in this way. So yes, it's very important to make the team know that it is a tool, it's not a threat, and they are part of it as well. Then of course, another challenge, another learning that you need to do is that you need to know how to balance the AI with human touch and empathy. There's something that the technology cannot substitute, which is the human warmth, humor, attention. At the end, yes, it's very nice that you have a fast reply, but as I was saying right now, if you do not get a right answer, you might get frustrated. And if you're not able to talk with a real person, the experience can be totally ruined. So balancing AI with human, it's very important. Your team also has to be very trained on this. So just to identify when the guest is not being happy with the answers that they are getting, for example, or if they feel like there's a machine and they want to talk with someone real, they need to know when's the time to take action. So that's part of all of this process, and training them and getting to that balance, And then the last learning is that you need to start small. This is a very big change that cannot be made in just one night. Big changes take time, and for us it was a very slow process, but it's the way to do it right. You cannot implement these changes that are very technologic in just one week, for example, because you need to try them, you need to make sure they are working well. And so you just need to first identify the challenges that you are having right now, and then one by one start finding the solution and start implementing the solutions for them. You cannot try to do everything at the same time and very fast, because it might not work that way. To make sure that you're doing it right, you need to take it slow and do it one by one. And that's basically it. As a conclusion, I would like to say that AI is just not for big companies, which is something that most of the people believe. If you have a clear strategy and you have like the right tools and take the assessment that you need, because sometimes we do not have like all the information that we need, but there are experts that know how to help you. So if you all do all of that, you can use the AI to actually make your team more efficient and happier team provides a happier experience for the guests. For us personally, AI it's just one more of the team, so it's not only a tool, it's for us, it's one more of us, and it helps us deliver those authentic and good guest experiences that we want. So yes, that's basically it. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Yes, we have some questions. The first one is for you and for Ignacio, and it says, how do you use artificial intelligence to know the customer behavior better, and what tools do you use?
So if not, if you want to talk first, it's
No, go.
So for us with the customer behavior, as I was just telling, we always have a person behind the screen. So even the chatbots are answering the questions automatically, the conversation always pops up for us. So you always see if the problem, let's say, if the query was solved, you can just close the conversation and that's it. We use a platform that helps us do that. Also, this way, when the receptionist sees that there's something that is not working right, they can take action immediately. They can just take action, answer the guest, and provide the good experience that we are aiming to do it. In our case, we use for the virtual assistants for the guests, we use a communication platform that has the integration of the chatbots inside them. So we just trained it with their technology, and for the guests, for the team, we just use ChatGPT and all of our procedures as documents, and we trained it with it.
Okay, Ignacio?
Okay, yeah. Not with the same example, but something that happened with one of the companies that we were managing and helping to introduce AI is that basically it was for the experience of doing parapente. That is basically throwing yourself out of a plane, right? And basically, when people were looking for experiences into ChatGPT or Gemini, if you look like what to do in Barcelona, the first thing that came out was like another type of experiences. Not like they were not positioning themselves um, as one of the main attractions to do in Barcelona. So what you need to do there is something that it's basically like reverse engineer the question. It's basically what you want to position your company as. Ask the AI on how do you think that people would ask the question to them, right? So after they want to position themselves as a company that it was like an experience to be adventurous and throw themselves in that area and be that response from AI, because that was the customer behavior. That basically, if you ask Gemini or ChatGPT what's the question people are asking when they want to um, do something adventures in Spain. So you have all the questions, and the implementation that you have to do now, it's grab that question, put the answer, and basically update usually your frequently asked questions in your website. Because if you have the information in your website, that's the way that you're going to be positioned based on the customer behavior. So it's something like you need to ask AI on how people are asking things in order for you to update your website and have the same response and be the most concise response for the user, because that's the way the brands are positioning themselves in AI in the first response, that it's generative, that it's like what's the most statistically correct answer for this question. So in AI it's like that. I think that in the near future you're going to be able to pay just as you pay for publicity, right, in Google or Facebook or YouTube. But right now it's like, what's the most statistically correct answer? So if you put yourself as with the same words that you want to position yourself in your frequently asked questions in your website, that's a strategy that is probably going to work to position your brand based on the customer behavior that people are actually using in AI.
Okay, thank you, Ignacio. Andrea, Marta also want to ask you if all these artificial intelligence tools are very expensive, or if investment is compensated by the results.
So in our case, we did not have to do a big investment, because in the case of the like the communication platform, that's a cost that we were already assuming. So training the chatbots was just an improvement of the service that we were already providing. Then for the AI tools, there's like the review ones. There's a very big variety on the market. You can check about them. There are a lot of them. We have worked with a few of them, and the cost there is a bit higher because, as I was saying, here they have to take into account like a more subjective opinion that so it's not like a protocol that you give to the assistant and it just extracts the information. It has to generate something. But for us, the cost is totally worth it. Not, as I was telling, not only for the guests, but for the team. The efficiency that we have reached is higher. The cost is totally worth the time of our team and the happiness of them as well. So yes, it's totally worth it. It compensates a lot.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. I don't know, Marta, if you want to ask anything else, or you're happy with the answers?
Thank you very much to all. Very interesting presentations, by the way. No, these I think were really the questions I had, and interesting, very interesting to know that indeed, even if sometimes the cost is a little bit as a challenge, maybe even especially for the small ones, then if the employees are happy and if the results are good, that compensates actually the challenge. So all that is positive. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to you. We are continuing with the last best practice, that is going to be Karen, who is going to present us the ITH Academy training program that she is a former student. Karen, whenever you want.
Hello. Ignacio, could you please share the screen, the first slide you had? Since I don't have a presentation, I will just be doing the talking. So let me begin with saying that I felt genuinely privileged to have been selected for the AI pilot project led by Tour de España in collaboration with Groto in 2024. Before the project began, artificial intelligence and ChatGPT in particular was something I'd heard of, something I'd occasionally played with, but still something I kept at a distance. I had asked it to draft a birthday speech once or twice, perhaps even used it to summarize a text, but that was it. I hadn't truly grasped what it could become, not just a tool, but a partner in my daily work. So when the project was announced, I thought to myself, I have to learn, I have to at least try. And I must admit, at the beginning, I didn't entirely understand what I had set on for. But what intrigued me the most was the idea of a shared workspace, a digital space, a professional space, and as it turned out, a deeply human space. And also, as mentioned, my name is Karen, and I work at the Spanish Tourism Board in Oslo, Norway. Thanks to the project organized by Groto, and especially due to the guidance of Professor Rafael de Jorge and the invaluable assistance of Veronica Solveig, who made it nearly impossible to miss a session despite the time zone differences, I began to use AI naturally as a helpful hand in my day-to-day work. This was the first time I collaborated so closely with colleagues from many of the 33 Spanish tourism boards worldwide. Veronica kept us informed, sent timely reminders, and both she and Rafael maintained a dynamic WhatsApp thread full of last-minute updates and vibrant exchanges of ideas across Tour de España's global network. And one of the most striking moments was seeing what we could build in the shared workspace. My colleague Juan Carlos from Toronto created a custom co-pilot, an assistant designed to respond to tourist queries with warmth and precision. If someone asked, what should I do in Costa Blanca? The co-pilot would engage with follow-up desk questions. Is it your first visit? Are you traveling alone or with family? Do you prefer culture, nature, or the coast? Based on the replies, he would offer a professional, personalized response, accurate, friendly, and efficient. From my perspective, guides are among Spain's greatest assets. Professionals like Anko from Tenerife, Ana from San Sebastián, Ernesto from Asturias, and Patricia from Galicia are true destination experts, or as I like to call them, tourism ambassadors. They possess the kind of knowledge that money cannot buy, and in the workspace, we discussed how AI co-pilots could complement their work, not replace it. That's when it clicked for me. This is not about replacing people, it's about supporting them. Just as great guides breathe life into a destination with a passion and expertise, so too can AI amplify our ability to serve, inform, and inspire. What stood out the most was how Rafael managed to bring AI down to earth, not merely explaining concepts, but showing us how to integrate AI into our daily routines in meaningful and tangible ways. He made complex ideas feel accessible, always offering support via email, WhatsApp, and what felt like round-the-clock availability. And as he often reminded us, there is no such thing as a silly question. If you're wondering something, chances are others are too. And by sharing these doubts and questions, we all learned more together. Perhaps the most transformative realization was understanding that AI is not about replacing human intelligence, creativity, or intuition. It is about enhancing them. At first, I approached AI with hesitation. I feared it might be overly technical or distant from the emotional and human side of tourism. But the opposite proved true. Applied wisely, AI strengthens human connections. The workspace did not only provide access to new tools, it opened the door to people, colleagues I had never worked with before, yet who faced similar challenges and shared a passion for creative problem solving. As a representative to España and Norway, I see myself as a bridge, a connector between Spain and Norway. And through this project, my team suddenly grew. It grew to include colleagues from Mumbai, Toronto, Paris, all working towards the same goal, to understand AI, to use it well, and to use it together. We weren't alone, we weren't isolated, we were in the best sense guinea pigs, but guinea pigs together, supporting each other, encouraging each other, learning from one another. One of the biggest lessons I've taken from this pilot is that AI is not cold. It is not mechanical. It is what we make it. When paired with human creativity, with empathy, with curiosity, it becomes something powerful, something practical, something beautiful. Thanks to this experience, I no longer see AI as a distant concept. I see it as a colleague, one that helps me write better, think faster, serve smarter. And most of all, I see my real colleagues, those I met through this pilot, as collaborators, co-creators, and companions in this journey. So thank you. Thank you to Tour España for trusting us. Thank you to Rafael for your passion. Thank you to Veronica for your coordination. And thank you to every colleague around the world who made this pilot feel not like a trial, but like a transformation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. You were a former student of this course that is based on artificial intelligence that we have in ITH Academy with World Tour. So we are really happy that at the end this course is going to different companies that they really need and they how to use now artificial intelligence that day-to-day tasks. So I don't know if anyone has any question. I don't see any other questions. Then I hope that today's sessions will spark new ideas, encourage collaboration, and inspire you to continue innovating within your organization and destinations. And thank you very much to all our speakers for your insightful presentations, and to everyone attending today for your participation and interest. We've seen inspiring examples of how artificial intelligence, technology, talent, and sustainability are not only transforming tourism, but also creating opportunities for people and businesses to grow together. From practical tools to improve hotel sustainability to AI-driven solutions enhancing productivity and training, each of today's cases reflects the power of collaboration, innovation, and skills. That is the core mission of PacT4ALL and the Instituto Tecnológico Hotelero. We hope this session has inspire you, and on behalf of ITH and PacT4ALL partnerships, thank you again for joining us today. And before we close, we are pleased to invite you to our next event, which will take place on 24th of October at the Tourism Innovation Summit in Seville. This will be an in-person event where we'll continue exploring the future of tourism skills, innovation, and sustainability. So thank you so much again, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.